Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the UKG podcast. Yes, at least finally I have some time to go live during the weekday, and I'm happy to be back because I'm back while we have some major breaking news. An Austin bomber that Manchester United have placed a bid for Carlos Baleba. I'm a believer. Are you a believer? Karibuni sana. My name is Simon, aka UKG. Welcome to the United Core Ground channel, platform, family, squad, all together. So news coming in earlier today. Manchester United have placed a bid of 60 plus 5 million pounds. That is 60 million plus 5 million pounds for Carlos Baleba. And we had some news, especially over the weekend, sometime last week, that Brighton are willing to do a deal for the region of about 60 to 65 million pounds. So United have done that. And we know that Carlos Baleba is one of the players that Manchester United have been eyeing for some time. And it's not a surprise to me that actually Manchester United have gone for Carlos Baleba because he's one of the players I was expecting to be. He's the player I was expecting to be the first signing for Ineos this summer. We know that Manchester United are currently going through a rebuild. They are currently rebuilding the midfield. Of course, there are talks about the left back situation. We'll have some discussion about that. But before we even go on with all these discussions about Baleba, about the left back situation, the ins and outs, I just want to know, how are you guys doing? It's been a while. The last time I was live for a podcast or a discussion was, I think, 2 weeks ago, of 2 3 weeks ago. But at least I was making some time to come on for the watch along. And wow, Ruben Amorim schooled Carrick. He did show why he's a manager who has won titles with Sporting. But anyway, how are we feeling? How are we doing? I hope everything is going on okay. Of course, different setup today. I'm still doing it from my living room. Guys have to sleep. Guys have to rest. So Sam is saying amen. Let it be so. So Manchester United have placed a bid for Carlos Baleba. It's no secret now. It's the news that has been making rounds throughout the day. Oh, sorry. Actually, I wanted to say something before we continue with that. First, ask how we are doing. Then state that today's show is going to be different. So I'm going to have the UKG podcast now, and then after the show, after the 1 hour is done, we are going to have our usual midweek debate, which is usually on Wednesdays. So we are first going to have the podcast, and then after that, guys on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, you can head over to TikTok because I'll be asking guys to come on. We have a debate, our usual midweek debate. So yeah, just note that after this segment, the 1 hour segment of 40 minutes, 50 minutes or so, once we discuss about the current news, we have the UKG podcast. Then I'm going to log off. I'm going to end the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. And then we're going to just have the midweek debate as usual on TikTok. So guys, please note that difference. So yeah, guys are doing well. Luminary, evening to you too. Big up. Papa mkuu, namna gani kakangu? Niko salama. Uchovu tu kidogo, but niko salama. I'm doing well. Big up. So back to this exciting news. So Manchester United placed a bid. Devin Ornstein reported it early this morning. So I want to get the article that Ornstein posted. The Athletic, so that I can read word for word what was posted. It's really exciting. As I was saying, and as I predicted last year, or sometime last season, that is, that I wouldn't be shocked if Carlos Baleba is the first player through the door. But of course, we have the likes of Santos, Tillemans, being the players that were first signed by Ineos in terms of the midfield rebuild. So, is Carlos Baleba a player I like? Yes, I do. Of course, there are doubts considering that his form has gone down or went down last season. I've seen guys saying that they are concerned about the injury, or why couldn't United sign Ederson uh, while he was injured, or they couldn't sign him because of injury concerns, and then they are signing Carlos Baleba, who's injured. Well, those are two different injuries, first of all. A meniscus injury is not like an ankle ligament. Those are two different injuries. A meniscus injury is very, very it's a very serious injury, you know. It's a career-ending injury. And ankle ligaments, guys get those injuries and they recover. And if United do go ahead and sign Carlos Baleba, then he'll just be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So that means we might see Carlos Baleba playing in September, you know. So, of course, there are guys who, as usual, we know United fans are toxic as usual. There are guys who are saying, why are you going for a player who was valued at 100? Now the price has dropped to 60. Why are you going for a player that no other club wants? And such kind of things. But for me, I believe Carlos Baleba is a good player. It's a good deal. So here's the article. I was just getting the article. Manchester United and Brighton and Hove Albion are closing in on a deal for midfielder Carlos Baleba. This is an article that was posted by David Onstein at around, actually the article has been updated as around 5:49 p.m. Kenyan time, that is. So United have made an offer of around 60 million pounds plus 5 million in add-ons, which is felt to be below what Brighton will be seeking to sell. Amicable talks continue, with all parties working towards finding an agreement for the Cameroon international to move to Old Trafford. The 22-year-old is currently working on his way back to fitness after an ankle ligament injury. But the issue is not considered serious or expected to keep him out long term. So that's the main part of the article about the deal the deal that is being negotiated between United and Carlos Baleba. So United have made an offer of 60 million pounds plus 5 million in add-ons. And Brighton, basically, what Onstein says here is that amount is below what Brighton will be seeking, but there are amicable talks. So it means that Brighton haven't said no. So it's a matter of like crossing the T's, dotting the I's, making sure that everyone gets the best deal out of it. So that's the Baleba news. The talks are ongoing, and I'm excited about this deal. Carlos Baleba is a midfielder that Manchester United simply need. You might not like the name, you might not like the fact that he does not have a huge reputation, a huge media backing, similar to the likes of Tonali. Oh, what have I done? Oh, sorry, guys. I think I touched something. Yeah. So he might not come with that big reputation like Tonali, like Mateus Fernandes, Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton. But when you actually look at him play, you see that he's a profile that Manchester United have been missing for a while. Of course, concerns are there regarding his form. Last season, he did not have a good season. Part of it is down to his head being turned by the prospect of playing for Manchester United. One might dare say that probably he was forcing the move by not turning up at Brighton. So there are concerns about mentality there. But in terms of his profile, in terms of his ability, in terms of his age, he is a player that United have been missing for a while. United's midfield right now most of those players, if not all, are very, very good technically gifted players. And not all of them can do what Baleba does in terms of covering ground, in terms of the athleticism, the physicality, in terms of carrying the ball from defense all the way to attack. You look at Tielemans, you look at Santos, you look at Kobe Mainu, Bruno, none of them can actually drop deep, get the ball from the defenders, dribble past all those players and create a chance for the forwards. You look at how he runs, he's very athletic, he's very physical. We've seen him put in tackles. Actually, there is a very, very good clip going or making rounds on X about the sort of player he is and he can be. And considering that he's only 22, we haven't yet seen his prime. And of course, every player has a dip in form. It's understandable. And having him in that midfield, for me, I believe it's the right call, because United have technical players in Kobe Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, Yuri Tillemans, Andre Santos. Andre Santos is still improving, but he has shown his technical ability. But when you look at all of them, they don't have the legs to run up and down the pitch, cover ground in terms of covering the defense, running back, tracking back to defend. And when you have a profile like Carlos Baleba, he might end up being our very own Golo Kante. His passing is good. His ball carrying abilities is good. His progression play is very, very good. And he can continue improving. He's a profile that not only Michael Carrick can use. We know that Ineos wanted to make the same signing for Amorim. So he's a profile that Manchester United have missed for a very, very long time. The last player I can think of that would do that for United was Paul Pogba. Fred at times could try, but he was not really good at it. Paul Pogba, yeah, he will do it, although in terms of his pace, tracking back was a bit tricky. So looking at this deal, there are fans who are saying that 60 million is still too much for Carlos Baleba. It should be less than that. But let's be honest, guys, looking at the current market, how everything has been inflated, 60 million, 65 million is still a good deal. I mean, if someone like Mateus Fernandes, who's been relegated twice with 2 clubs, can go for 85 million, Tonali can go for 90 plus million. You look at Guimaraes, the amount of money Arsenal paid for him at his age. You look at Elliot Anderson, you also his performance at the FA Community Shield, going for 116 million. Then looking at 60 million for Carlos Baleba, it's a bargain. So at the end of the day, for me, whether Carlos Baleba is 30 million, 15 million, 100 million, I believe this is one of the profiles that United have been missing in that midfield for a very, very, very long time. United have been missing someone with legs, someone who can actually cover ground, someone who can give the attackers confidence that we can go ahead and we have someone who can run and provide that defensive cover. Because you look at Santos, yes, he's very good in terms of his positioning. He's very good in terms of reading the game and providing that defensive cover. His ball progression is good in terms of forward passes. Not so much in dribbling. But now with Carlos Baleba, you're getting bits and pieces from everyone. When you look at his scouting profile on those YouTube videos, those clips, you can see that he's someone who tries short passes, interplays. He tries long passes, looping balls. He's someone who tries ball carries in terms of dribbling forward. He's not afraid to go into the tackle. He's not afraid to run. He can run deep, collect the ball from the defenders, make a good turn, and play. So when you have, let's say, someone like Carlos Baleba and Kobe Mainu, or Carlos Baleba and Santos, or Carlos Balebas and Tielemans, at least you're sure that the midfield is covered because you have someone who can run around. And looking at how Carrick has been deploying his midfield in the preseason games, he does need that sort of profile. Santos was doing it. And we all saw what happened when Santos left the pitch versus AC Milan. So for me, I would negate all the noise. I will negate all the toxicity. and just say that Carlos Baleba is a very, very good player that United will be getting at a very, very young age. At 22, he can go on to play for United for the next 10 to 15 years, depending on how well his fitness is. Of course, there are concerns about AFCON, United having now 4 players that need to participate in AFCON. That is Mazraoui, Mbeumo, Ahmad, and then now adding Carlos Baleba. For me, that's not a huge concern. Frost, I'm having my life. Stop disturbing me. Sleep. Time to sleep. So that's the case. So using all these reasons, excuses, it's like it's like fans are trying to find ways to discredit or basically play down this Carlos Baleba transfer. But to me, in fact, if you guys remember, sometime last season, I used to say, if you ask me between Elliot Anderson and Carlos Baleba, I will go for Carlos Baleba. Because we need someone with that sort of profile, someone who will work hard for the club. And one of the things I love about African players is that once they get a move to those big clubs, they usually play hard. They usually work hard. Look at Mbeumo, look at Ahmad. Once they got those moves, those guys are working hard. You look at Mbeumo right now, he's trying. He's not complaining about being played out of position. You don't see him throwing a fit even if he doesn't receive a pass. You look at Ahmad. He did not complain when he was benched under Eric Ten Hag. He did not complain when sometimes under Amorim he was not trusted. He did not complain when Amorim asked him to play as a right wing back. Because these players, the African players, once they get a chance to play for those top clubs, they actually love the club and they want to fight hard for the club. And one thing I absolutely love about these Carlos Baleba talks is that he has told Brighton that the only club he wants to go to is Manchester United. So this logic I'm seeing from fans that how come no other big club is going for him? Well, who knows? Probably other top clubs have gone for Baleba and he has told them, no, I want to play for United. It's similar to what we saw happen with Cunha, Mbeumo. We know that Arsenal was interested in them. We know that Arsenal were also interested in the likes of Sheshko. But the fact that they said that they want to play for United, then there is no point of negotiating with the club. There is no point of negotiating with the player. So there's a lot of toxicity online, similar to what I said a few weeks ago. I did say fans are getting frustrated with the lack of transfers, and I am also frustrated. Trust me, I am. I believe I said that during our watch along. Which game was it? PSG. I did say, yes, it's frustrating that United are not making moves, but the window is still open. Things can change. Since the AC Milan game, the fans have been livid. X has been exploding. Online fans have been very, very frustrated. I've attended a couple of TikTok lives where guys are very, very frustrated. And in all of them where I'm invited, where I have an opportunity to give my comments or say something, I say the same thing. Fans need to calm down. The best time to judge Ineos, to judge the board, to judge the transfer dealings that United have done is at the end of the window. Because now look at what has happened today. The deal is closed for Baleba. And in the next one you're looking at, the next discussion is Lewis Hall and Jorge Salinas. In a matter of hours, United are making moves. Before that, there was no news about Carlos Baleba. All of a sudden, Ornstein comes and says that the bid has gone in. So now the fans who are getting frustrated, becoming toxic, now they have eggs all over their face. The next thing they start doing, they start saying that still they are not impressed. You have, for example, I saw some fans complaining that Ineos are not making signing. They see the Baleba news and then they come on and say they'd rather even not have any midfield signings or any signings whatsoever because they don't want Carlos Baleba. So you see, as a fan, even if you are frustrated, there's nothing much you can do other than be patient and wait. Continue supporting the club. Some of the fans will call it lowering standards, but am I the one who set standards at United? No. Me choosing to support United, it was not dependent on me setting standards for the club. No, we don't own the club. We are not like Real Madrid or Barcelona, where as fans we have shares in the club, then we set the standards. No, it is whoever who runs the club. Those are the ones who set standards. We can call them out. That's the much we can do. But why spend 8 hours of your day being frustrated about something you can't really do much about? So you see now, like now these deals are seemingly happening, and all of a sudden the landscape has changed. So all the frustrations the fans were going through, because I remember I attended one live. I won't say which live I attended, and I said the same thing, and everyone on that TikTok live was hammering me. Their hands were on my necks. They wanted to to slaughter me for saying the same thing. Guys, we still have 3 weeks to the end of the window. This is a discussion we should be having once the window is closed. Because who knows, Manchester United might go on to sign, let's say, 4 players. And then all this talk, all this frustration, we will end up looking like clueless fans. And that's what actually is happening. When you look at some of the people online, they are now starting to look like they are clueless. They are frustrated that Ineos are not signing players. At the same time, they get frustrated that Ineos are paying 60 million for Baleba. So I don't even know how to express it in a way that won't offend anyone. I don't know how best to place it. So let me read some of the comments before we go to the next left back situation. Sarah Mwangi, if you have a job you're giving guys, post it on your official channels. Don't come to a football and my live and ask people to apply for jobs. This is not a job stream. If you really have a good job, create an ad. And for that reason, I'm going to block you and mute your account. To me, that is just you're just a fraud. Anyone who goes to a TikTok live, like you, how can you post a job on a football TikTok live? Are you mad? Are you mad? So yeah, there you go. You get a block, and then you're spamming. That is the epitome of foolishness. Let me read some of the comments. Let me start with YouTube. Victor, you said, isn't Baleba injured though? Yes, he's injured. Similar to when Sheshko was being signed by the club, he had an injury. But what sort of injury does Baleba have? This is why I keep saying, can we stop reading highlights on social media? Can we stop reading headlines and forming an opinion? Go and read the full article. I've literally read the article for you. I can read it again. Let me read it so that everyone understands, because I'm sure the same comment that Victor Ouma has made, and big up Victor, I'm sure even if I go to TikTok, I'll see the same. The 22-year-old is currently working his way back to fitness after an ankle ligament injury, but the issue is not considered serious or expected to keep him out long term. So it's an ankle ligament injury. It is not a broken leg. It is not a broken rib. It is not a spinal issue. It is not a meniscus injury. It is an ankle ligament injury, which is one of the most common injuries in football. You can't compare his injury with someone like Ederson's injury. And Carlos Baleba is not the only player that United have signed. And then once they are signed, they go into rehab. Sheshko was one of them. Do you remember? When Sheshko started his career at United, he started off with an injury. Mateus Cunha, what happened to him? United signed him. He did not play the first games of the preseason. Why? Furthermore, you can sign a player fit as a fiddle, very healthy, plays preseason, one game, gets an injury. So are you going to reverse the transfer fee? Are you going now to go back to the club and tell them, you did not tell us that this player will get injured in a week? No. So for me, this talk about injury, understand which injury are we talking about. It's an ankle ligament injury. It's not a major concern. And the guys going for Baleba are not fools. These guys are not fools. They do their homework. They do their due diligence. So for United to actually go and place a bid, they have done their homework. They've monitored the situation and said, yes, we are willing to invest on this because this injury is not serious. The same medical team made a call about a meniscus injury and said this player has been reported to have a meniscus injury. There is no way this injury can heal in the amount of time that was reported. So what are you going to do? Cancel the deal. It is the same team. We are the same fans. But now when it comes to actually gathering and collecting and understanding information, that's where we draw the line. So, no, Victor, I'm not bashing you. Victor, I'm not bashing you. I'm just saying it because I'm sure also when I go on TikTok, I'll see the same comments that why are United signing him and he's injured? So I'm not bashing you. I'm not um, trying to offend you in any way. All I'm just saying is I've seen a lot of talk from fans to show that when someone is thinking about something, when a United fan is even commenting about something, they don't truly take time to understand everything about that particular topic. Yeah, Victor, as I said, I'm not bashing you or anything. If it has come out that way, I apologize. I'm not bashing you in any way. I just hope he passes his medical and not another Ederson issue. That was kind of embarrassing. Yeah, as I said, an ankle ligament, a ligament injury is one of the most common injuries. Even at workplaces, you can get a ligament injury. It's one of the most common injuries in sports as well. So it is not, to me, it is not an injury that will cause concern. And the fact that this team, the medical team, looked at the Ederson medical records and said, no, it is the same team that has given the go ahead and said that injury is not a major injury. And it is the same medical team that was put on the hot seat and were asked, why did you allow us to go for someone like Matthias de Ligt, and we know he has a back issue? Same team. There was an investigation that was done. Like, why are they going for Matthias de Ligt? And the injuries he's getting are similar, and one of them is a back injury. The same medical team gave the go-ahead for Benjamin Šeško when United were signing him. When Benjamin Šeško landed at United, he had an injury. Same to Carl Dallo. Carl Dallo was signed. Was it right before or after a medical procedure? So, Victor, as I said again, I apologize if it has come across like I'm bashing you. No, all I'm saying is United fans, most United fans, not all, are trying to find ways to make this deal look bad. It is not. It is, trust me, it is not. Yeah, so let me read. I'm hanging. Haruna is saying I'm hanging. Guys on TikTok, can you confirm whether I'm lagging? Am I lagging? Let me know. So Victor, again, sina ubaya. Sorry, it came across like I'm bashing you. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. So ooh, it's lagging. Okay. Let me see. Let me see how I can sort this out. Let me try closing some of these windows, then you guys will tell me Let me try closing some of this. Let me just see how I can sort this out right now. Sorry guys, guys on TikTok are saying that it's lagging. Let me see how I can sort this out. Yeah, YouTube is okay. Thanks. How is TikTok now, guys? Is it better? Last one, ile wifi niko nayo hata uwezi niinstalia. Uwezi. Ile wifi niko nayo uwezi niinstalia. Uwe una install 300 mbps. Kama unaweza niinstalia 500 because niko na 300. Sawa, kuja uinstall. Issue si internet, issue ni software. I think the software has an issue. So let me try to sort that out. Yeah, it's good now. Last one. Niko na 300 mbps. So kama unaweza niinstalia 500. Karibu sana. Okay, so I think it's because I had opened so many windows, so I'm glad it's okay. So let me see. Victor again on YouTube is asking, apart from the left back, do you think we need a left wing? Because Rashford apparently might go to Arsenal because they need a left wing option for cheap. Yeah, the left back situation is what I wanted to discuss next. But in terms of Arsenal going, Rashford going to Arsenal, I just think that's agent talk. I don't believe that report one bit. I don't believe it. Because Arsenal also did sign a left winger recently. Unless they sell Martinelli, because clubs do want Martinelli. Which Premier League club did I see want? Aston Villa want Martinelli, which is a very odd transfer considering that they just got Garnacho on loan. Unless they've looked at Garnacho and said, we've already committed to a loan, we can't back out. He's not performing well, let's get another winger. Unless that's the situation at Aston Villa. They have money right now. They have a lot of money. They've also sold Ezri Konza to Arsenal, Tielemans to United, Rogers to Chelsea. So they have a bit of money. They might even be looking at Martinelli and saying, yeah, we can replace Rogers with, let's say, Martinelli. So that in terms of Rashford going to Arsenal, for me, I'd just consider it as agent talk for now. It's similar to what I told you guys about the Manu Kone news. Most of the guys were saying that United have placed a bid. They didn't. It was just inquiring, asking. So when you see such kind of reports, let's wait for the credible media houses, credible journalists. And yeah, Rashford has received offers. From Turkish clubs, Saudi clubs. He has said no. And you know those guys offer good money. He wants to play for a big European club. It will also be a shock seeing Rashford go to Arsenal. It would, because I still believe Rashford loves United. And him going to Arsenal would be one of those things that makes United fans hate him even more. So now let me go to TikTok now. I have ignored guys on TikTok for some time. Let me read. So in case you're joining in right now, I said the first hour, that is 9 p.m., 10 p.m. this hour, we are going to have the UKG podcast. After that, I will end the stream on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, so that we have our midweek debate on TikTok. It's been a while since I've been live, so I wanted just to have that split. So let me read some of the comments. Jay, you're saying, good evening, I'm good. Glad to see you back. Baleba signing is good, considering the options we have. Yeah, big up, Jay. Ken, when is the transfer deadline? I believe it's September 2nd, if I'm not wrong. Good evening to you too, Sven. Big up. Dave, you are saying, we bought 3 midfielders for 155 million. Imagine we bought the 116 million one. Yes, Dave, it's the exact same thing I've been trying to say for days, for weeks. And actually, on that live where everyone wanted to slaughter me, I say the same thing. I say, like, guys, we need to be patient. United right now have an opportunity to sort out some of the big mistakes done under Woodward. Overpaying for players, giving them outrageous contracts, and when it comes to selling them, they can't. So if United continue to build this team, to rebuild this team in such kind of deals, why not? I also tried in another live. I also tried giving examples, parallels to how Juventus came back after relegation, the deals they were doing, how City built their squad, how Liverpool under Klopp built their squad to a point where they won the Champions League, Premier League, and all those trophies. And when you look at all those clubs, they were also going for such kind of deals, 30 millions here, 20 millions there, an expensive buy there, an average, let's say mid-range pricing there, here and there. And eventually that squad became a very, very good squad. You look at Man City and you look at the amount of money they've spent. They've spent big money and they spent mid-range money for players. In fact, when they were starting, they had very odd players. You remember someone like Nathan Balotelli. Who was the other one? What is it? Otamendi. You look at all those players, they were not expensive players per se, but in the end, they helped the squad go to the next level. So what City were doing was just keep replacing. Ooh, my TikTok has lagged. Oh, my TikTok is lagging. Yeah, now I see it. Oh my video has lagged. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, it's back. So you have to go through that pain. United fans still believe that United have bottomless pockets. They have a huge wad of cash. They don't. So rebuilding a midfield for 155, 160 million, it's good business. It's good business. Let me read the comments because we need to go to the next topic. Let's see. Is a here we go yet? No, just fat, not yet. It's here we go soon. So they're still hashing out some of the details. We will see whether it happens. Baleba during January transfer window 25-26 was 60 million. Yes, it was that, but we also in your say they're not going to do any business in January. They're going to wait for summer. At the end of the day, they will pay 80 plus. I don't think so. I don't think they will pay 80 plus. I don't think they will pay 80 plus. Deville, you're saying, when will this deal be done? We are waiting for it. Patience. As I said, the 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule. Is it we can't control 20% of things that happen in life? We can control 80, or is it the other way around? So there are some things in life you can't control. We can't control when the deal will be done. If it were up to us, we will just pay the amount and Baleba tomorrow has a United shirt, but life doesn't work like that. Our number 2 keeper is Dallo. It's yet to be confirmed because also we have Damotmi. Damotmi has basically played well, and the club has said that he's not going out on loan. So let's see. Brian, you're saying we also need a striker and a fullback. Let's wait and see. So left back. Yeah, so let's go to the left back situation, then I'll read the other comments later. So September 1st. Yeah, the window is ending in September 1st. Thanks, Victor, for the confirmation. So let's go to the next one. So Manchester United will try to push for Lewis Hall in the next couple of days. And the reports state that Lewis Hall wants out. He's pushing for a move to Manchester United. His dream move is Manchester United. And Newcastle are under no pressure to sell. They've already made a huge amount of money from their player sales last season, this season. So they are under no pressure. I've seen Newcastle make signings for a couple of fullbacks, and to me, it signals it's like an intent to sell Lewis Hall. I've seen them, was it today or yesterday, they signed a right back. I believe also they made another signing. So Lewis Hall wants out. Manchester United will test Newcastle's resolve. But of course, if Newcastle were to sell, they would ask for a premium. They will ask for a lot of money. So in case the deal is difficult, United have pivoted Jorge Salinas. He's available for below 30 million pounds. I think he's available for around 22 million. I need to confirm the amount, or you guys on the chat can confirm. So Jorge Salinas is also a very young, exciting fullback, left back. Barcelona have been keeping tabs on him, but it seems that he won't go to Barcelona. So Manchester United will be interested. They have him as an alternative in case their first option, Lewis Hall, uh, doesn't work out, or they don't get Lewis Hall. There is also talk of Raum. Raum is also a player that Manchester United have been looking at. Of course, he's a bit older. He's 28 years old. And one of the things that United are thinking about is they can go for a player like Salinas or Raum, and then wait for next year to get someone like Lewis Hall, because they are looking towards getting multiple options on that left back. We've also seen reports that United are looking for players that can play multiple positions, let's say left back and midfield. And you look at someone like Baleba, he can actually do that. He can play as a left back, he can play as a center back, he can play as a CDM. So you look at Dogu can play right back, he can play left back, he can play right wing, left wing. And I think it's a good way of looking at things, so that when you have a squad, even if there are injuries, multiple injuries in one position, you do have other options that can cover that space. So instead of United being in a situation like City or Chelsea, where you have 6 players waiting to play in one position, you can have 2 or 3 in one position, and then you have the other positions with the same 2 and 3, and some of them can play in a position when needed. So, for example, if United can have someone like Luke Shaw, Lewis Hall, and Harry Amas on that wing, so in case any one of them is not available, then someone like Dogu can play there, someone like Baleba, someone like Mazraoui, Dallo. Those are good options. That's a good plan, because United will be participating in a lot of games. So United wants to try Lewis Hall. They want to see how Newcastle respond. They want to try out and see. So for the Lewis Hall deal, I don't see this deal happening for anything less than 70 million, to be honest, because Newcastle are under no pressure to sell. But the fee might be lowered a bit, especially if a player is pushing for a move. The fee might be lowered a bit, because we saw the same thing happen with Isak last year. Although Liverpool of course paid a lot of money. But if the player is pushing for a move, then the club might say, hey, since you are getting this money, let's sell him now so that we don't make a loss next year. Look at what's happening to Brighton. Brighton were offered 100 million for Carlos Baleba. They say they want 120. And in the end, Baleba is moving for half the amount they wanted. So you look at that situation, you're like, now let's say Newcastle price out a move for Lewis Hall, and then next year the clubs will be like, no, you can't ask for 100 million. One year of his contract has gone down, so you can't sell him the same price. So you look at the Baleba situation, his stocks have gone low because of form. The contract has gone down 1 year, so you cannot ask for the same amount of money. So Brighton, instead of taking the 100 million, now they are they are negotiating about a deal between 60 to 65. So that could happen to Lewis Hall. Newcastle might come and say, no, we want 80 million. United say, sorry, We can do a deal at 65, 67. Take it. They say no. United walk away. They pivot other targets. Next year comes, Lewis Hall wants out. Then another club comes and says, we have 35. So they've gone at a loss. We've seen that happen many times. I remember someone like Max Aarons at Norwich. I believe it's Aston Villa, or was it Everton who wanted him? And then Norwich said, no, you give us this amount of money or he's not going. In the end, they sold him for peanuts. They sold him for less than 10 million pounds. Same thing happens. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the clubs also have to be wise. Newcastle are under no pressure to sell, but now if you price the player out of a move, United might come back again next year and say, hey, we are willing to do a deal, but now you have to take a lower fee. You have to take a lower fee. So that's the case. The left back situation is an interesting one. We need to keep an eye on it, because United do want to cover that space, more so after the performance we saw versus AC Milan. It has actually invoked a reaction from the United board, the United recruitment team, from Wilcox, from Vivell. It has invoked that thought, that need, that urgency after they saw what happened in that AC Milan game. And remember, guys, other clubs are watching. They are seeing what happened. Even right now, they are scouting. They are looking at those games and they see where United's weakness is. And United cannot afford to go into another season with Luke Shaw. You know, actually, the other day I was listening to TalkSport. Was it on Monday? Yeah, was it on Monday or Sunday? And Jamie O'Hara made a comment that made me like feel crazy, feel agitated. United have the same back four that started in 2022. Same back four. Diogo Dalot at right back, Harry Maguire, Martinez, Luke Shaw. Same back four. And of those same back four that started back in 2022, 3 of them consistently start for United: Dalot, Maguire, and Luke Shaw. So that tells you how far off United are when it comes to rebuilding this squad. And it should worry you as a fan. It's worrying me. It should be also a worry for you. Because we have Maguire, Dalot, Luke Shaw, Martinez, who all started in 2022. They started the first Premier League game in 2022. We still have them at the club, and we know how they've been performing. Luke Shaw has survived how many managers? Rashford has survived how many managers? So I get that Luke Shaw, of course, was unfortunate when he got that injury, but business is business. If you don't perform, you get sold. Look at what United did with someone like Phil Jones. Phil Jones was at the club until his contract expired. So, oh, my TikTok is lagging. I think it will be better once we end. So that's the situation about Carlos Baleba. United have placed a bid, and Lewis Hall, United are extremely interested. They will initiate talks with Newcastle. If it doesn't work out, then they have Jorge Salinas from is it Santander in Spain. They will sign him, or they will go for David Raum in Germany and sign him. Sorry guys, my TikTok is lagging. My TikTok is lagging. So let's go to the just chatting section. And then we end this segment of the UKG podcast. We shall be, after this, we shall be on TikTok for the big debate. Feel free to head over to TikTok. You can send a join request. We are going to still discuss about this Baleba deal, Lewis Hall, left back situation, how Ineos have performed so far in the transfer market, our expectations for the new season. So I'll read a couple of comments for the next like 5 minutes, and then I'm going to end the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Kick, Twitch. Guys over here on those platforms I've mentioned, head over to TikTok. I'll start accepting joint requests so that we have our midweek debate. So some of the comments on YouTube. Bigger Victor, you're saying Louis Hall for me. Yeah, I also think he's the perfect replacement for Luke Shaw. It's a like-for-like replacement. Just pay the 70 million and get the player, man. Victor, I do get what you're saying, but we also need to see United be disciplined. Because if United pays 70 million for Lewis Hall and it doesn't work out, then United will have trouble selling him. So if you look at how United have been operating, they need to be smart. And you see them rebuilding the midfield with around 155, 160 million. That's being smart. 3 players for the price of 1. So 70 million, if United are clever with it, 70 million is money enough to get you a left back and a second striker. United can get a left back for 30 million and they can get a second striker for 40 million. For example, Watkins is available for 38 million. That's just an example. There are strikers that will be available for around 35 to 40 million, similar to left backs. We've seen Jorge Salinas is already available for 22 million and is still a very, very good option. So instead of overpaying for one player, like what we saw United do, they say, no, we are not going to spend 116, 120 million for Anderson, and they're using the same amount of money to sign 2 or more players. Should be the same decision when it comes to Lewis Hall. Big Popper, big up. You're saying you're happy with Baleba. I am as well. I can't wait to see him in a United shirt. Left back, get me Salinas or Says. Yeah, you see, Salinas, Says, those are cheap options. You're getting them for roughly 20 to 30 million. So from the 70, you can still get 40 million extra to get another player. Victor, you're asking, why do we need a second striker? Joshua's axis is there, and Sheshko Rashford can do the job, Mbumo and Cunha. Well, ideally, you need a second striker. We can't keep having Cunha, Mbumo, who are wingers. Rashford is also a winger playing as a striker. Joshua Zirkzee is not even a number 9. He's a 9.5, a 10. Serious clubs have second options. You look at United back then, you have Rooney, you have Van Persie, you have Anthony Martial, you have all these options. You remember there was a time we had Rooney, there was Chicharito, we had Babatov, to a point where now Rooney is not even getting a chance to play as a striker. He plays as a number 10. So United definitely need a second striker. We can't afford to go into 4 competitions relying on players off position. For example, the Champions League is serious business. I don't want United to just be participating the first round and then they are kicked out. We wait till next season. At least let's see United get to at least round of 16, So a second striker is needed. And it's one of the positions we saw last season that if United had a second striker, United probably could have rivaled Arsenal for the title. So guys on TikTok, we'll continue here. Guys on YouTube, Facebook, Kick, Twitch. I'll see you tomorrow. Because right now I want to jump over to TikTok. We usually have the midweek debate on Wednesdays from around 10. So let me read a couple of comments. Saya TV Extra, big up. You're saying Mbumo is our main striker. Okay, but I'm still concerned with Mbumo being the striker. There are certain positions that a natural number 9 takes up that Mbumo doesn't take up. Yes, he does a good job. He does try his best in that position, but most of the time he drifts. A striker naturally will bomb into the box, will go into the box waiting for either a cross, a cutback, a low cross, high cross, looping ball, through ball. But Mbumo wants to get involved within the game. He likes to be part of the build-up play. But if you look at the difference between him and a striker, especially in that final third, we need someone who's a poacher, a finisher, someone who can take up positions that a winger naturally wouldn't. Mbumo likes drifting. He wants to get the ball run forward. At times, you need someone like Asheshko, especially when playing against low blocks. So Victor is saying, I think we just give Zaxi a chance. We are writing him off too soon. For me, I would say Zaxi to play as a 10, considering Mason Mount is injured. And remember, guys, I told you, when you see Mason Mount come off with a knock, give him 6 weeks. Most of you said, oh, no, it's just a knock. He will come back. Now see. So, guys, on YouTube, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, see you over at TikTok. Have a lovely night. Cheers and bye-bye.